We'll see. We'll take it there live. Mark Jones, Doris Burke, Cassidy Hubbard have the call. We'll see you at the half.
Uptown. Knicks winning the game. That was really
cool. A lustrous and a radiant Sunday afternoon here in New York City. 8 million different stories, folks, in this city that exudes prideful basketball. And the biggest story this Sunday afternoon unfolds at Madison Square Garden at the corner of 33rd and 8th Avenue. Philadelphia 76ers in town with a record of 36-23. Third place in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, the hometown Knicks with a lot of work to do, an uphill climb to get into that play-in tournament scenario. Meanwhile, James Harden, the newest addition to this Philadelphia 76ers squad. So much to prove, yet so little to prove at the same time. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up courtside with Doris Burke, Cassidy Hubbard joining us in just a moment. Doris, back on February the 10th, Daryl Morey, the general manager of the 76ers, changed the face of the Sixers franchise. Ben Simmons out, James Harden in. And if there were any questions about how that dynamic with Embiid might work, was certainly answered at least a little bit in the first game.
He stepped between the lines and made their offense 100% better already. He becomes the best passer. And remember, this is a guy about whom Doc Rivers said 4 or 5 years ago he may be the best one-on-one player in the history of the league. And so here's a guy who can get his own at any point he chooses. If you get him ISO'd, they'll put him in some sets to do exactly that. He can get downhill and get fouled. But this, to me, was significant. Now Tyrese Maxey is not handling the ball. He's using his speed to receive the ball. And Joel Embiid is the best center that James Harden has ever played with. And, folks, if the step back is working and Joel is at an MVP level, now you've got a legit threat to come out of the East.
They're going to be a big problem, and the role players like Maxey plan to benefit as well. Cassidy has more on the newest member of the 76ers.
Yeah, guys, Joel Embiid and James Harden are fully in the honeymoon phase, with Joel saying he's never been wide open like this in his life, even saying you should have seen my face on Friday. And he posted his smiling face with his new bearded teammate on Instagram with the caption, "This can't be my life." And life is coming at them fast. With 23 games left to the playoffs, they have to move from the honeymoon phase to a partnership built on trust quickly. But Joel says he thinks this sprint to get comfortable is, quote, great for us as a team. It sets expectations even higher than they were before. Puts a lot of pressure on everybody. I'm excited for everybody to play at another level, especially me. And Jonesy DB, if Harden can elevate the already MVP candidate's game to another level, then he just may be able to call this duo a match made in heaven.
Well, we get to see part 2 of it today, Cassidy. Doris, let's talk about the New York Knicks. They've lost 8 of the last 9 games, but on the good news side of things, R.J. Barrett is coming off a career-high 46 points a couple of nights ago, and if they're going to make a strong finish like they did a season ago, which is the hope, he'll have to keep playing this way.
It's been a season of challenges, but as you said, the bright spot has been R.J. Barrett. Let's remember, this is still a young man whose game is growing. His best attribute is probably the ability to get downhill going to his left, but he's very capable either side. And what he did Friday was live at the free throw line, go strong enough to get downhill, get himself fouled. And if he balances that with consistent three-point shooting, he becomes a very difficult check. He's playing the best basketball of his young career.
And one of the great signs for the Knicks is that R.J. Barrett has improved his productivity each and every month so far this season, right under 30 points per game for the month of February. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, remember, the 76ers have put a beard on the process. Did I mention he had a 61-point game here? Tip coming up after this message and a word from our ABC station.
I felt like CP3. I can bring no peace to you.
We want him to officially welcome you to our ABC exclusive telecast. It looks like we'll have a great ball game.
Philadelphia, New York. For these teams, the times have changed, but not the place.
I think we see Willis coming out.
No matter the faces or uniforms, stars or supporting cast, the East Coast is always first and foremost an attitude.
We're talking about practice.
Iverson dunks. How about that? That steps over Tyronn Lue.
A brand of basketball, tough, on the edge, like the cities they rep. New York and Philly, separated by 95 miles on I-95, but connected by the character of their East Coast towns. And no matter when or where they meet, they bring those streets. Sixers, Knicks, Nets.
Vintage East Coast basketball today with the 76ers, number 3 seed in the East, taking on the New York Knicks. An I-95 rivalry. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC, presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Penn Station, Madison Square Garden, the backdrop today for the showdown as the 76ers play game number 2 in the Harden-Embiid era. And for the New York Knicks, well, they're still hoping that they can turn it around this year, build a little momentum beginning today, and make a run into the play-in tournament. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups delivered by Taco Bell. Sixers, get this, folks, they've had 28 different starting lineups this year, an inordinate amount. Despite that, they're still the number 3 seed. Speaks to the great coaching job of Doc Rivers. Maxey, Harden, Embiid, Harris, and Thibault on the front line for Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Alec Burks getting the start in the backcourt at point guard. R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5 for the New York Knicks. Well, it's been a big turnaround in the wrong direction for Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. He struggled this year. Last year's most improved player at All-Star struggled in the previous game against Miami, Doris, shooting the ball, but he did contribute.
It was just 2 for 11, but believe it or not, Mark, he had the highest plus-minus on the team, and that's with R.J. going for 46. So they need him to be a factor today unequivocally. And we don't just mean that putting the ball in the basket. You're looking opposite the guy right here in Joel Embiid, who's the betting favorite to be the MVP. And now he's got a real point guard at his disposal. Look out.
James Harden is easily the best playmaker and shot maker that Embiid has played with in his career. Embiid, a 5-time All-Star.